Shalom, shalom. Quick second. Start teaching. Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we're going to say, Kalayimur Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and double honesty, elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who do rule and teach well. This young brother here, Shamash One. A lot of pollen over here. I might move a little bit. I don't want to move too far down because I think that's a bank, and I don't want to film private property. Because if I film, they are, according to the law, you know, they're within their right to kick me out. You know, and I don't really want to deal with like problems with people. I just want to, you know, teach and be on my way. You know, teach and be on my way. That's the name of my game for me. All right. So, I'm really going to get into a few topics today. A few topics of the scriptures. So, we'll get this one first. So, naturalnews.com, U.S. farmers. U.S. farmers abandoning failed wheat crops at fastest rate since World War I. So growing conditions have been so poor across the United States this season that wheat growers are expected to harvest just 67% of their planted acres, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. If these expectations are met, then this will mean the lowest harvest ratio since 1917 at the height of World War I. The ABC warned in its latest monthly food report. The America's Great Plains have been so dry for so many years that crops simply are not getting enough moisture to survive. Some fields are in such poor shape that the wheat crops will not contain any heads, leaving no reason to harvest them. Unfortunately for farmers, they can still file crop insurance claims for failed acres or choose to just plow it all under and grow something else. Unfortunately for hungry Americans and other nations that rely on the nation's wheat exports, there is soon to be a lot less flour and bread on grocery store shelves. All right, so that's another way famine is coming in, not just burning down factories. I heard of factory fires, but also the Lord just causing plants not to grow, or causing plants to grow at a very diminished rate. Alright? It's all the above. Alright? Because only places that are favored by the Lord, they will grow. You know? Or the Lord will have mercy and let the places grow, like in the ancient world, places were growing and stuff. But now we're coming to the time of judgment, so the Lord is, He's taking away these crops and having these crops lose moisture and giving these guys bad growing seasons. This place isn't a blessed place by the Lord. If it was, then everything would be plentiful. And everything would be plentiful, and there would be, things would be growing right. But this is a horrid, cursed land. Right? The blood, it defiles the land, right? And the blood of the land can only be cleansed by the blood of Him which shed it. Okay, so we're living. Every time you go to sleep, if you live in, America, every time you go to sleep in defiled land. You wake up in defiled land. You just check the hand because I'm kind of shady. It's not super shady. It's not that bad, but I'm in a remote area right now. I had to relocate because I don't normally camp on Thursdays. This is my weekday camp spot. I camp out here during the week. When I have to. You know, I only camp one time a week. I don't camp twice a week. You know, I think the elders said you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to camp twice. You know, so I just listen to the elders. I don't really, you know, just overthink every little detail. You know, I don't need to. You know, these men have been in the truth for more years than I've been alive. So I'm just gonna take their advice. Camp once a week. You know, teach, and you know, go home. You know, but yeah, I've been having a lot of free time lately, so I know I'm gonna be pretty busy on the weekend. I'm gonna be going back to the city. I'm gonna be there for a long time. I'm not gonna speak all my life. I'm gonna be there for a minute. So yeah, I'll be there for a long while, and then I'll be back to camping in NYC, you know, in Manhattan. You know, but when I can find a better spot, maybe get with some more experienced brothers who can, you know, help me out here, put me up on some game when it comes to the camp spots. You know, hopefully. But I don't know, man. I'll just keep teaching and stuff. Let me move my stuff down so people can still walk by. You know, I'm not taking up half the street, you know, on the street, you know. Alright. So what we need is scriptures on the famine. So we might as well start with basic and fundamentals. You know, we'll play fundamentals just so we have something. So we're just throwing out precepts. So this is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 8. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be earthquakes in diverse places. There shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows. Alright? So there's going to be nations fighting against other nations, people against other people. You know? And that actually goes back to Egyptian, against Egyptian. That's actually a part of it as well. I always thought it was literal country against country warfare, but nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, you know, fighting and wars. That also goes to civil wars as well. You know, I heard, I can't remember the brother's name. The brother that runs the Remnant Saved 144 page, he mentioned that in his Isaiah 19 breakdown. I reposted it not too long ago because, you know, I was getting into Isaiah the 19th, you know, because, you know, I got, like, it's not like I'm getting tired. It's just like I want to, like, move on to different scriptures, you know. There's no getting tired of reading the same precept. There's no getting tired of the scriptures. But I need to switch it up. I need to grow. So I started looking at chapters. I started to look at chapters of scriptures that I normally use. And what I did was that I just pretty much went out and you know, I said, all right, what if I start learning the full chapter breakdowns? You know, and that's what I started doing. So, right, and there should be famines, right? Matthew 24:7. The nation rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There should be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All right, so there should be famines, right? That's what we're focusing on here today. All right, famines is a prophecy. Right? It's prophesied that there will be famines. And not every famine will be just because they're going burning down factories, but also the Lord is literally causing there to be dry spells, causing plants, you know, not to grow. All right? Thinking of something. I'll go into this one. Actually, no, I won't. This is the book. Yeah. So this is the book of, hold on. is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 15, verse 1. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. Alright, so, right, pretty much if Moses and Samuel, right, which nowadays, they could be on the earth, or they could have, Moses was, King Masha was King David, right, but Samuel, I don't think anyone has ever claimed who Samuel is. I don't think there's really any precepts that Samuel was really reincarnated, or was reincarnated as someone else in particular. I don't really know, so I'm not really gonna speak on that. I only speak of things that I, can confidently, break down and say that that's, true. But things I have faith in, right? But I don't really know, so I'm not really going to speak on it. So if Moses and Samuel, right, which is just the Lord, making a point, was to stand before me, right? We know these are two favored men, right? Men that were doing the right thing, so on and so forth, right? Leaders, right? My mind cannot be towards people, right? Towards the 2/3, cast them out of my sight, let them go forth, right? Yeah, and the Lord brought us to a low estate because of our pride and foolishness. Now this reminds me of that scripture about how the Lord was going to turn his back towards us and stuff like that. In the book of Hosea, right? Because you were going off, you were being wicked. The Lord brought us to a very low estate, right? But you go say, I guess nowadays too, I mean, that's what it really means. Us being brought to low estate slavery, which happened to all of us, right? But what's really going to happen, and what's really going to come, is just going to happen again with the 2/3. The 2/3, they're not going to be saved on this side. They're going to die. They're not going to get the end of their faith, or the end of faith, which is salvation, or the result of keeping the faith, which is the salvation of your soul, like it says in 1 Peter. Let me get the classical way, so I get a little practice. I actually want to buy a new Bible too. This thing is, it's falling apart. Yep. The cover fell off, so I'm just gonna have to buy a new one. It's good to have a Bible too. You don't need internet to open this, so yeah. What's 1 Peter? I think 1 Peter might fell out of my Bible. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. Colossians. I do not know where this there we go. So it's the book of 1 Peter. Just had to take my time and calm down. So this is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 1, verse 7. Was it 1 and 7? Is it 1 and 7? I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, which is salvation of your soul. Okay. Alright. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 7. The trial of your faith being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found to praise and honor and glory at the appearing of what the book says. What says Jesus Christ, but we really know his name is Yahushai in Hebrew, and Christ means Mashiach. Hamashiach, it means the Christ. Yahushai Hamashiach. Yahushai Ha the Mashiach, meaning the anointed one, or the Messiah, the chosen, okay, the chosen one. The Christian is Hamashiach Yom, or Christians, plural, okay, it means the anointed ones or the chosen ones, okay. Think like, man, I don't want to get carnal, man, but think like with Star Wars or some shit, right? Like the Jedi, and they go out and they find people who are like, you know, special with like the Force, and they bring them in and they train them to be Jedi. You know, we don't really do the exact same thing. It's really through the Spirit, but it's kind of that same kind of mentality. We're the ones that are chosen. We're the special ones, the ones that have been picked. That you know, Yahushua, you know, Yahushua is picked and chosen, right? The Scripture says we've been chosen before the foundation of the world. So before the foundation of the world was even set, we were already picked. We were already chosen. It was already predestinated, you know, for us to be out here, for us to teach, for us to do these things, you know, which is crazy to think about, you know, that all this stuff, you know, surrounding my life, and you know, me coming out here was already planned, millennia ago, you know, many millennia ago. And yeah, now I'm out here, now I teach, and now I'm, you know, doing my thing, you know. Yeah. At the trial, right? Oh, right, because you're tried in truth, right? Verse 8, but having not seen ye love, in whom now you see him not, yet believing you rejoice with unspeakable, joy unspeakable and full of glory, right? Who having not seen, right? Because we haven't physically seen Yahushai, right? None of us have seen like a photo of Yahushai, right? I mean like a literal photo. Like I don't have a JPEG on my phone, you know, of like a selfie or something. I'm just being facetious here, right? But we don't have like a JPEG of Yahushai or something giving us like a selfie, and we have it on our phone, or we don't have him, you know, literally, you know, coming out to like the camp and, you know, standing around and stuff. Like, nah, man, we don't need to see him physically, because we have faith, right? As soon as it says faith is a substance of things not seen, things hoped for. Okay, so like none of us have seen the kingdom. Now, brothers may have had certain visions, but none of us have physically, as physically say, you know, gone to the bus to the kingdom or something, and physically like seen there and spent the night or something. Once again, I'm being facetious. Okay, we haven't seen it physically. We haven't been there physically. All right, Lowell and I'm of the elect, right? But we haven't been there physically, and we have faith in it. We have faith that that we are going to have a kingdom. We are going to have rulership. We are going to have the power and authority. All right. We read the scriptures, and we have faith in the scriptures. We have faith in the scriptures that they are true. You know, other people, they'll read the scriptures and say, you know, that it's a bunch of baloney, you know, which just means it's not meant for them. You know, they're just wicked. You know, you 2/3, you think like that, as well as you other nations, because it's not meant for you. You know, you other nations, you know, you people, you'll compliment. See, I gotta speak on this too, man, because this is how wicked people are. You know, all up and down. I'll go to a gym, right? I don't say every gym, right? But I'll be in the gym, and then from time to time, I'll have people, like, they'll give me all kinds of compliments. I get all kinds of, you know, compliments and you know, stuff about like my physique, right? But where's the compliments about me coming outside and teaching every week, huh? You know, no one's dapping me up. I don't have, wherever I go, I'm not getting dapped up by people. Hey man, you are out there in the truth. That's good of you, brother. No one does that, man. You know, brothers in the truth will, right? They'll say shalom, you know, which that means a lot to me because it's lonely. You know, it's lonely out here. But you know, I don't have people coming up and down just to, you know, say, hey man, you know, good on you for pushing the truth of the scriptures. All right, Romans 3. Yeah, Romans 3 and 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? All right, so what if some did not believe, right? So what if some people, all right, did not believe? What if they did not believe in the scriptures, right? Because many people don't believe, but does that make your faith, of no value, right? Of course not, right? Your faith, of course, has value, right? Like, if you have money, right, and you have $100 bill, right, and you give it, someone says, oh, that doesn't mean anything, right? It still means something, right? I'm speaking on a carnal level because that's how you make points, sometimes the scripture says, yeah, make the scriptures plain, and so on and so forth, make it plain upon tables. I mean, you got to teach it in a way that that people will understand. You got to teach it simply. You don't have to use all these big, fancy words. Just teach, man. Give people the point. Teach the people, man. Our people need to be taught. When I'm out here and it gets lonely and stuff, man, I got to start thinking about that more, man. That the people need it. That there are elect out there. Just because I'm not really getting people. I haven't gotten a single person, and I'll say months. Haven't had a single person in months come out here and be on some positive stuff and like ask for like a breakdown or just say something about the truth. That doesn't mean that there's not elect out there. It's just that I haven't seen them physically. I haven't seen a lot of people. This guy, honestly, I'll say maybe like one, or I could count them on my hand, on a single hand, how many positive interactions I've had with people. I say about 3, which might be the hopeful elect. But yeah. Verse 7, verse 9, receiving the end of your faith, right? Even the salvation. Receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls, of which salvation the prophets have inquired, but search diligently, who prophesied the grace that should come unto you. Alright? Of which salvation the prophets have inquired, right? And the prophets have inquired of it, and they have prophesied of salvation. Right? They have prophesied of us being saved. Right? Many prophets have prophesied of that. I'll just get this basic one because we all know this one, right? This is actually ties in rather well. We're gonna get back to the famine too. Jeremiah 30:7. That day is great, so that none is like it. Is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. All right, but he shall be saved out of it. So that's what it is, man. Salvation. All right, and these are things that are in prophecies, and the prophets that have been of old have prophesied these things. Right, prophets also prophesied against great kingdoms, nations, right, of death, destruction, so on and so forth. John the Revelator also spoke of it. Right? Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also pierced him, and all kings of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. Right? John the Revelator got those, visions on the Isle of Patmos. Right? Yahweh shall, have his angels, deal with him and show him those things, show him, the visions and the understanding, and maybe he didn't see what he didn't understand exactly what he saw back then. All right, but nowadays, right, the seals of the book have been opened, It's meant for us now to see and understand these things and to teach them. All right, to be that watchman. The scripture says, be that watchman and teach them on the highways and byways. You know, and prophesy these things. You know, and that's our job. You know, to come out here and teach. Right. So that was that. So back into back into famine. Back into famine. Yeah. Let's just teach here. I'm looking for something in particular. I could honestly go into this. Revelation 6:22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the fool's storehouses shall be found empty. Alright, so sown places appear unsown. Now, when you sow something, it means you're planting down the seeds and stuff. Alright, let's look up sowing fields. Okay, you plant the seeds and stuff, but I want to get a deeper understanding so that I can give you beyond rudimentary breakdown. So this is Wikipedia. Sowing is the process of planting seeds in area object that has seeds planted in it, described as a sown or sown area. Among the major field crops, oat, wheat, and rye are sown. Grass and legumes are seeded, and maize and soybeans are planted. In planting, widening rows or more are used. The intent is to have precise, even spacing between even rows. Various mechanisms have been devised to count out seeds at exact intervals. Right? And sowing little, if any, soil is placed over the seeds, as seeds can generally be sown into soil by maintaining a depth of about 2 to 3 times of the seed. Right? And then you have different sowing patterns. Right? And several sowing types, right? Wide bed sowing, so on and so forth. Right? You got sowing drills, you get open field planting, you know, all that stuff, you know. So all these places that were sown, right, they're gonna be unsown. I mean, there's nothing gonna grow there, right? And what good is a field that's unsown? I mean, it's not gonna be used. You know, what good is a field that isn't offering or giving you any crops? Right? That means a lot of these fields, they're going to have to be abandoned. They're going to just be done away with. You know? You know, they're basically going to be, worthless. You know? It means they're not going to yield forth crops. Alright? So that means the sowing patterns and all this stuff won't work. They'll sow and it won't work. Just look up sown fields. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. Like you stuff, if you ever been to like a farm in like high school or middle school, this is how it looks like. You know, out here in Ithaca, we have plenty of fields. You know, you have like corn fields and stuff like that. If you ever drive over here, go pass by them. You know, kind of got that. Some of these areas, they got that sundown town look, you know. So I wouldn't probably stay too long in places that are really like the common area, you know, the commons, you know, areas like that. And some of these places, you can kind of tell they got that energy that they probably don't like you, you know. They probably don't want you around here, you know. I was watching Tariq Nasheed was speaking on that too. Actually, believe it or not, a lot of the sundown towns that used to be like this, be like that stuff. A lot of them are actually in the north too. You know, And I was like, wow, I didn't know that. You know, but I believe it because, you know, even to this day, you have certain parts of like you could just go around certain areas and you could tell that they probably are like that. You know, you could tell. You know, and even in Ithaca, right? Most of the people, they kind of just, leave Jakes alone. You know, or really they're more like that liberal kind of stuff where they see Jake, you know, they want to use Jake. Holy fuck, you driving fucking fast. What the fuck? Yeah, you know, they use Jake and whatever, or you know, the men, they fuck Jake. You know, out here we got a lot of race mixing going on here with so-called black women and white men. You know, it's a college town, so that stuff is to be expected, right? You know, little wickedness and all that, you know, bullshit. And the wisdom of this world is kind of foolishness with the Most High. All right, but yeah. We're gonna stop talking now. Jeremiah 15:2. It shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, such as for death, or such as for the death, to death, such as for the sword. Let's read Jeremiah 15:1 again. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses' sin was still before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight, let them go forth. It shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, such as for the death, to death, such as for the sword, to the sword, such as for the famine, to the famine, such as for the captivity, to the captivity, right? So such as for the famine, to the famine, as we said, right? And that's Jacob's trouble in our time, but back then, it's also Jacob's trouble in their time, right? Them being dragged off to Syria, you can say that was a form of Jacob's trouble. Being dragged off to Babylon, that was a form of Jacob's trouble. You can say, the Greeks, that was the time of Jacob's trouble, 70 AD. Us being dragged to Rome, being brought to the Colosseums to fight, die. That was the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, and now the Jacob's trouble we're expecting now is martial law. You know, in a time of just great turmoil, civil wars, and death all across the planet Earth. All right, that's the modern day Jacob's trouble. So there's been more than one Jacob's trouble. It hasn't just been, Jacob's trouble back then. You know, them getting jacked up back then and all that's it. Then, Jacob's just gonna get everything all right. No, there's different types. There's different times that Jacob's been into big trouble, and now the times that we're coming into right now is going to be martial law, them, blocking stuff off, blocking off streets, troops on the ground, people getting gunned down in the streets, curfews, MOTB being pushed out, them probably kicking you out your house for not having an MOTB. Will definitely kicking you out your house, freezing your bank account, all right, for not taking the mark, race wars, riots, everything you can think of, man. Right, Jeremiah 15:3. And I point over them four kinds, saith the Lord, the sword, the slay, the dogs of terror, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. And that's really just talking about Jacob's trouble. That's just, all the same, destructions and stuff that I was talking about before. But we're also gonna have the animals. They're gonna, go feral. The Lord's gonna put that spirit. The Lord said, the spirits that pray for vengeance. So the Lord's gonna put that violent, feral spirit in some of these animals. A lot of these animals, man, they're just gonna start eating people, man. They're gonna start eating people. Alright? They're gonna start killing them, start murdering them, start eating their asses, man. Especially you big fat, black women, man. You fat fucking black women are gonna be devoured by like a pit bull or some shit. A pit bull gonna eat off your ass for a minute, man. You can get like five of them on your ass, man. And I'm saying that, and I'm being mean on purpose, man, because actually all you women are gonna get fucked up, man. All you women get fucked up. And I say that because y'all women are fucking wicked, man. Y'all women are straight up wicked, and I know because this is a college town, man. And I walk around and I see this shit. Bitches with their asses out, titties out, bitches that I know that have men, they wearing no bra and going outside, you know, wearing like a little shirt. And I'm just like, man, what the fuck? This is fucking dog shit, you know? Wherever you go, man, you know, it's in the city, you see that shit, you know? You come out to upstate, you see that shit, you know? It's wherever you go, you just see wickedness and wickedness and wickedness, right? Right? As we know, man, oh shit. Right? We know this is a valley, a low-lying land, right? A land with no morals, low morals, right? Like it says in the scriptures, you know, America's the valley of the shadow of death, a low-lying land, a land with no morals, a land where just death, wickedness, and evil surrounds you 24/7. You know, this is the land that, you know, unfortunately, brothers such as myself, you know, call home. You know, where we have to live. You know, we live in this wicked world, man. Right? So on and so forth. The scripture says, right, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked and others. Right? So this is 2nd Ezra 16 and 18. Right? Man, I'm looking for something that says astonished. They that till the field shall be astonished. I want to get this before I get that. You know, then I'll probably read a little bit of this article. And then I'll be done. Second verses. If I can't find it, I'm just going to read 2nd Ezra 16, but there's something deeper that I want. Never mind. Man, I might as well just, you know, go into it. Maybe I'll try to see if it's in the 15th verse. Yeah, alright, we'll just... This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Right? And you know that the prophet Ezra, he was seeing a vision of this, you know? And the vision was so vivid, he felt like he was there on one level. On another level, he knew that he would be alive during this time. Now, we don't know who the prophet Ezra is. You know, it could be any brother, I don't know. You know, but we know that he will be in GMS, right? You know, and he will be teaching the truth. You know, because the spirit of prophecy is subject unto the prophets. You know, the spirit, the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. All right, and we know that the ones that are carrying out the testimony, other men of GMS, will bring out the truth to the fullest, right? So we have to therefore conclude that Prophet Ezra would have to be reincarnated as a member of Great Millstones, probably one of the camps. And I don't really know, and I'm not going to speak on things that I really don't know. I'm not going to seek out deeper things of the Most High. You know, Scripture is not supposed to do that. You know, seek out the greater things, the deeper mysteries and stuff like that. Certain things, it'll be revealed in due time. You know, just teach and go home. You know, that's it. Verse 19. Behold, famine and tribulation and plague, tribulation and anguish, and scourges for amendment. Before all these things, they shall not turn from the wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. All right, so what's a scourge, right? What are these things, right? These things have been sent out in times past for amendment to make a change, right? Things like 911, you see these terror attacks, which they really created them. The elites, they really orchestrated the whole thing. They bankrolled and supported ISIS and got ISIS rolling, you know, and they gave ISIS funding, you know, and they let ISIS do that. They did that on purpose, you know, to create violence, to spread evil, you know. They kill people's parents over there, man. You know, people out there gonna, you know, got mommy and daddy in there. You know, they ain't got no mommy and daddy no more. You know, they kill people's moms. You know, they kill people's, you know, grandparents. That was wicked, man. They killed their own people, man. You know, that was straight up wicked. You know, but yeah, I don't really give a shit though, because you know this is America. This is Babylon the Great, bro. So I don't really give a shit. Also, real quick, because even though, you know, I like Tariq Nasheed, you know, and I like the stuff that he posts, you know, I gotta rebuke him, man. All right, if Tariq ever gets his hands on this channel, man, I'm rebuking you, man. All right, because you said that Babylon is the whole world, and that's off, man. All right, that shit is off. Okay, because Scripture says that Babylon was a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Chaldees are the glory of kingdoms, the glory of Chaldees, the excellency. Chaldees is the modern day elite, right? You said all these things, man. You know, how can everyone be the glory of kingdoms? You know, that's easy, man. You know, hey man, you need to watch GMS videos. I don't know what breakdowns, you know, or stuff you watch, man, but you need to get on GMS, bro. You know, stop watching whatever other camp you're watching. I don't know where. I mean, any camp should be able to show you. You should be able to notice that, man. You know, but you know, hey, if Lord's dealing with you and you learn and you start watching, you know, videos and stuff and so on and so forth. But I don't know, man. I don't know. That stuff with reparations, man. If I were you, I'd stop that shit, man. The scriptures, yeah, because now I'm talking about something else, man. Hey, you want to talk about reparations, man? You know, why stop at getting money, man? Why do you want money? You know, I don't want money reparations. I want to see this place go down, man. All right. So that's it. And I think we're gonna talk about something else. Maybe I'll read a little bit of the article. Right, Ezekiel 7 and 7 and 8. Now I shortly pour out my fury upon thee, and accomplish my anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways, and recompense thee for all thine abominations. All right, now, back then, you know, this is referring to Israel, but just like that scripture that says, "I, the Lord, is upon a sinful kingdom." Right, back then it was talking about Israel, but nowadays it's talking about Esau, Edom, right? Because Esau, Edom is the new sinful kingdom. All right, I don't say they're the new, but they're the sinful kingdom as well now. It applies to them, because Jacob's still sinful as well. You know, they are just, you know, willingly sinful. You know, they're not like brothers who, you know, they may have certain things that they're dealing with, right, and they're struggling and whatever. And they have certain weaknesses in their own selves that they're trying to, you know, hamper out, whether it's their simps or so on and so forth. You just like, you know, let women control you too much, or, you know, you have this issue or that issue. You know, I'm not going to speak on brothers' things. I mean, certain things you can't even really help, right? If you work on the Sabbath day, you're going off. You know, if you're working right now, according to the scriptures, you're sinning. All right, but we know nowadays that you have to. You know, if you miss a day of work, you know, you might not pay rent. You may not be able to pay rent. You know, you're not going to be able to, you know, be able to pay your bills. You're not going to have a home, man, if you just start skipping off of work for a day. And if you start doing that, hey, man, you're going to lose your job. Then you're not going to be able to eat, you know? So, yeah. Verse 9, my eyes will not spare, neither will I have pity. I'll recompense thee according to thy ways, and thy abominations that I miss thee. You should know that I am the Lord that smiteth. And that's right. Everyone is going to know, man, who the true Lord is. Okay? The true Lord is Yahweh. He is, right? And the Son, Yahweh Shai, right? He's going to have the rulership, man. You know? And so on and so forth. Everyone's going to know in those days who the true men are. Right? Right? Then you shall know that you had a prophet among you, right, in those days. Right? And as we brought out time and time again, you know, the prophets back then, the fuck. Okay, as we know back then, the prophets back then, they did the legwork. The legwork is already done in terms of, you know, having these angels give you visions and you writing them down on pages, you know, writing hundreds of verses on pages, you know, and scrolls and things like that, you know, and having scribes, and, you know, I think some prophets did it alone or whatever. You can look it up, do your research on that. Some prophets were prophets and scribes. Ezra had a whole team working under him, helping him out. Yeah, man, you know, we know the testimony of Yahweh Shai, the spirit of prophecy, and that shows you that when you go to that word testimony, it means to report, to speak on, so on and so forth, to witness, to, you know, like you testify of something, like you're in court, and you speak on it. It's mataria, all right? You know, to make a report of something, all right? All those things that we've already seen it already, you know? Oh, we never seen it already, but back then, some of us, you know, were among Yahweh Shai's disciples, right? Because he also had disciples that came afterwards, right? But really everyone was among Yahweh Shai back with Adam and the garden. So really, you can say that. But you know, with all that being said, man, you know, now we just report. You know, the prophets already did the legwork. The prophets been before us of old. They've already been and done the legwork. Now it's up to us to report. And this is what we're doing. Our job now is to report, bring out the scriptures, break them down the right way, and then let that be that. All right, so Lord willing, brothers were edified. You know, I just wanted to get into that little article right there. The Spirit brought me to, you know, a bunch of different points, you know, so on and so forth. So I'm gonna say, you know, call Laimla, the hell about Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And that's it, Shalom.